Hi guys, this is Alicia from Scarlet Creations, and I'm back with a new video. This is part one of my response to the Ancestor work October activity or month worth of activities and readings created by Carrie's Mystical Musing and Amethyst Ascension Tarot and Astrology. I'm not sure how much I'm going to get into this first video. That's why I just said part one. The aim is for 2 videos at most, but we shall see. Carrie had 4 weeks and 4 videos roughly for this, and I could follow that, but the first 2 videos were more explanatory and getting preparation type of things. And while I did that, there's not much to show of me doing that or to talk about of me doing that. Rochelle at Amethyst Ascension also created a digital journal to go along with this, which I have been using, so I'll be showing clips of that as well as we go along. Pretty great. We have 4 weeks and links to, I think, Carrie's channel, the Facebook group that we were all using. Instagram is probably Carrie's as well, because I don't think Rochelle has one. But yeah, each week has links here, so let's just go with week 1. I wrote some things in. I had been doing October, which is a totally different divination practice for October. By ever onward, and you will get videos for that soon. And I was catching up on Past Lives Club September, also created by Amethyst Ascension. So I started this late. Been feeling called to it since last year. Last year I did a conference, if you will, online called Ancestral Magic Summit, and they had various speakers and pagans, witches, etc., astrologists, to talk about how you can do some type of ancestor work or ancestor veneration with their various specialties, which was nice, and it was free, so I had taken notes from that. And then this year, back in March, my grandmother passed away. That's my last grandparent. And then one of her sons, my uncle, passed away in October, earlier in October. So I had known I wanted to come back to it, but not having a plan. Because before this, it wasn't a big thing for me in my practice, which is, you know, what it is. I thought this would be more like Past Lives Club September, where there would be new readings to do every week. And luckily it was not, because I came back to this at the end of October and basically did everything in a week, roughly. During the Ancestral Magic Summit, I learned about different types of ancestors, ancestors of the land, ancestors of place, for example, and that's something I've been trying to be more conscious of when doing my foraging, and also when working the land at the Foodway and going to different parks here in New York City, in the Bronx in particular. I noticed a lot of content creators being more conscientious as well, doing land acknowledgements, acknowledging our elders, if you will, with the plants, but also with the indigenous peoples who were originally here, and in many cases, definitely in the case of New York City, those who were pushed off the land, kicked off the land, the Lenape peoples of the Bronx, and the Bronx family, not indigenous, but who owned most of the borough that I live in. These are my notes from the Ancestral Magic Summit. And I went back to looking at this. And as I mentioned, one of the talks was about different types of ancestors. Ancestors of spirit, ancestor, Atar, ancestors of land, ancestors of blood. And so continuing with that, like Carrie mentioned it as well, there's some astrological stuff, like I mentioned, various meditations and talks, even some different types of magic, whether it's glamour magic or whatnot. There's also been I think just more deaths in my family, so I was curious. One of Carrie's videos talked about books, and I went to look up from my library some, and actually let me go to the last page to show you. This is it. The Book of Ancestors by Claire Goodchild is one I started listening to. A Guide to Magic, Rituals, and Your Family History. And sure, I will definitely check out some other books, but that is what I started with, and I really enjoyed that. So some of the stuff that came up in the book was about protections and knowing your whys, what I can offer, creating an altar, that kind of thing. So I put those in here. The digital journal. I also wrote them down in another journal. One of the big things that came up was kind of having an ancestral grimoire in the Book of the Ancestors. And I kind of like that idea, especially the idea of keeping track of, like lineage and things that these people liked, important dates, their death date, their birth date. I thought that this digital journal would be a good idea for keeping that information. So I'm only going to show you the main parts with reference to this practice for the month. But there's more. I'm still using it, and so I'm just gonna shout out again, Rochelle. Thank you so much for creating this. It's beautiful. It works wonderfully. I'm using it in Samsung Note app, and yeah. So I've written a title here. I brought in some images that are germane to me and my ancestors and doing ancestral veneration and work. We have a symbol of the coqui from Puerto Rico and the trident from Barbados, both part of my ancestral heritage, and just a book up here on the top, and unmarked headstone. And then one thing that came up is doing a book blessing, which I've done before as a witch for my own personal grimoire, keeping that a little hidden, but also putting in stuff that I can use for cleansing. The juniper smoke, which I like, It's more native and I would like to have something, a different scent, I guess, than what I would normally use. Dragon's Blood resin, which I absolutely love, point blank period. I think it's the Scorpio in me, but even if not, it's just wonderful. And it's like a red ink. And I have Dragon's Blood resin, and so I can make some more and use that if I'm writing with it for the ink, and having a ancestral sigil, which I do have. I put like this digital wax seal over it so I don't have to worry about you guys seeing it. So I just use an extra page here, one of the additional note pages that were provided, making a copy. Next, protections. So what I did was I took some, what do you call it? Screenshots or pictures of some of the pages from the journal, different ways of protection and other stuff here to kind of hide more of the protection of the book digitally in that book. But also as a visual reminder to myself that I do have information written down. I don't always like to have to come to the internet or a screen, a digital, screen and electricity to see stuff. I don't always want to be on my phone, on my tablet, on my laptop, desktop. Sometimes I just want to be screen free. And so this is like a visual reminder of that, and, listing my protections. My whys, this is something that Carrie went over, and it's kind of explicitly stated as my whys or your whys in the book of Ancestors. It's like, why are you doing this? And I wrote out a list of those. And then what can I offer over here on the left? This was something that all the sources saying that you should be explicit of, and offerings, which is not strange to me, obviously. So I listed some of those, and they may change over time. They have adjusted as I figure out what I actually am capable of offering on a regular basis and how regular. But yeah, and then an altar, which I built. So we're gonna go into showing you me actually doing that, because I did film. So this is the area I'm gonna put the ancestor altar. I have this sort of set up corner here as a pseudo nightstand with some old candle holders and a piece of wood. Also, like an diffuser, excuse me, and some artwork. I think I did have a little mini altar set up here for a second, but that didn't last very long. And then at the bottom, some books I'm supposed to be reading. They're on my TBR, but I have not gotten to the majority of them. And basically, this stuff is sitting here collecting dust, and I want to have a permanent ancestral altar space that I can reach easily. So this is the spot. So in preparation for that, I went out to Dollar Tree, and they have these like wooden trays um, that I thought would be a good idea to make for mini altars that I can, if necessary, easily move around. So I'm going to be using a couple of those. Yeah, decluttering essentially. So this is what it looks like, all cleared out. Um, One of those bathroom corner soap holder thingies, and I had put some shelf holders there, and it has stayed pretty steady. Oh, I missed something. Once upon a time, this was meant to be another altar, permanent altar space. Just a regular altar, so that did have some stuff there. But that didn't happen because of the slats. So still an issue, but I do have to use, which I didn't before. But today is just a cleaning day per Claire Goodchild's recommendations. Alright, time to clean. I have this cleansing spray that I have made specifically for altars, magic, rituals, and that kind of thing. I also clean the walls around it, just they catch dust pretty easily. If you're wondering what that slant thing is, well, we don't have time to get into that. But I sprayed the mini altars and some of the other supplies I'll be using, like this mini broom as well, just to get everything cleansed and fresh for this brand new altar for my ancestor. I'm also cleansing with sound and the broom as well. Triple layer of cleansing. Okay, so for Ancestors of the Blood, I have this red paper and a little mini altar with some family and pictures and ashes. Then below it with the black paper, for the ancestors of the land or of place. I've got some river water from my burrow and some violets from the foodway. I've got the card from the Llewellyn Tarot, which is based on Welsh mythology and history. The world card, which is Sadair Idris, and a land that I have not been to but have a connection to, so Wales. And then back here, a flag scarf for Puerto Rico, which is land of my ancestors and family. And last but not least, up top for the ancestors of spirit, that plastic in the back is representative of my witchcraft tradition, CTG, Celtic traditionalness with an aid. They're ashes from my elevations, and the red candle is from my elevations as well. So the ancestors of my spiritual tradition there. And I've got a card from the Herb Crafter's Tarot that is the wheel card, a kitchen garden, various herbs and plants, so representing my herbalist community. And I have a big crystal ball, which I can use for all of them. But yeah, spirit communication, I thought. And I've got my little beetle, my broom, which I've yet to decorate up there as well. I put land on the bottom because it will expand a little bit to the window where I've started a kind of plant allies section, altar, whatever, and a fairy garden home altar space as well. So, and blood in the middle, spirit at the top. Oh yeah, I didn't mention the white paper. And instead of really tiny cloths, I just used some of the decorative paper I have. So yeah, that's the Ancestor altar setup that I have created. Alright, I have a plan. Altar, I'm gonna put some pictures of what I just showed you. And yeah, week 2. I'm not sure what I'm gonna put here. But the tools, let's talk about them. I just kind of use them here. I mentioned the crystal ball already, and it is not Serenity. It's selenite. So let's look at it up close. It came with this stand. This was from an antique pagan business that was on Etsy, no longer in function. But yeah, this person who I'm friends with, they painted this stand, and yeah, the crystal ball is selenite. I always thought one day I want to get one that's like sunstone or something yellowish to balance it out. Like, this is kind of a moon representative. I've only used this once or twice, and I'm interested in using it more often. Once or twice for like crystal gazing and scrying, I should say. It's in plenty of pictures, and selenite is definitely my favorite crystal. Learned that by happenstance many years ago, so I can see myself using this for ancestor communication or spirit communication in general. The crystal stays on the stand, but it usually lives in this very nice cloth because selenite is very sensitive to literally everything. So yeah. Okay, so I've got these 2 bookmarks, which I do need to clean up. But I have used both of them as pendulums, and they can be easily switched. The rings here and the connectors here can be changed for that purpose. They swing fairly nicely. This one is an elemental, 4 elements there: air, fire, water, earth, and a pentagram at the end. Both of these were made by witches. And then this one is a chakra one, and I'm missing a stone here, but I know where it's at, and so I can hopefully put it back on. Now that I'm looking at it, I don't know exactly how it came off in the first place. But yeah, from the third eye all the way down to the root chakras. And we've got a sacred woman on the end there. So I don't have pendulum boards, but relatively simple to make one out of paper, which I've done before and then thrown out. So those were the non-tarot tools. These 3 decks were the ones that immediately came to mind. The Spirit Keeper's Tarot I've been using a lot lately, and I mean, it's in the name, speaking with spirits, not necessarily ancestors, but could be. And so I feel like there's an oracle aspect to this. It's created by Annabelle Wen. Each card is particular spirit. They have the names on the top and that kind of thing. And so that's what I mean. There's an oracle aspect, but it can also be used as the tarot. I will just have to try and see. This, yes, if you're thinking, if you're wondering, yes. This was gifted to me. I know that this is not a legitimate deck, but yeah, the person who gifted it to me did not when they bought it. So yeah, Antique Anatomy Tarot. I want all of Claire Goodchild's decks, so I'll be getting an official one. But since I've purchased no decks this year and had no plans to, I'm not gonna just buy one now because someone bought me a fraudulent one. So, but yeah, feel like this might be really good for ancestors of place, of land. But one never knows. And then, well, by dint of the name, the Soul Trees Oracle. Yes, they have chakra cards, but one keyword titles. And I realized this was important once we got to week 3. In that video, Carrie was talking about one spread in particular. You probably want to have an oracle deck that has one-word keywords or simple phrases. My other option is the Color Mage Oracle. I have the original version, no expansion packs. And you know, it's just color. They have either one word or one short phrase on the bottom in addition to the colors. So, and I love this deck. Then thinking about that, the oracle options, Sacred Destinies Oracle, which not really thinking about Sacred Destinies, but usually one word keywords. And I kind of think of these as like portal cards, little snapshots. And if I need more, I can look at the guidebook. Black Moon Astrology cards. I was watching, maybe it was Astaria Sen's video recently, and she included astrology also during that astral summit that I attended last year, which is happening again this year, by the way. Someone was talking about like using astrology for ancestral work. So yeah, these have one word keywords as well, as you can see, and so found that as a possibility. Okay, and then really quickly, my Only Time Will Tell Oracle, it's got time frames on it, and I think that might be a good one. And of course, the Fairies Oracle. The Heart of Fairies Oracle has archetypes, a whole section of archetypes, and so, I mean, they're fairy archetypes, but still. And the Fairies Oracle in general, I still have the washi tape on them, but yeah, these are my go-to oracles, my diehards, right? And then I was thinking in specifics, right? Back to the altar. So, Ancestors of Place, right? I'm in New York City, in case you didn't know. The only thing I have is this New York City playing card deck, but not impossible use, right? And both for Ancestors of Place and Ancestor Spirits, right? I've got some herbal decks, Herb Crafters Tarot, and the Illustrated Herbiary. So those can be very good. The Herb Crafters Tarot is more West Coast. There's a little bit of overlap though. And so that could be more for just the herbalist community ancestors, while the Illustrated Herbiary, it can be more Spirit of Ancestors of Place. I keep just wanting to say Spirit of Place. Last but not least, of course, because I also have a card up there, the Llewellyn Tarot for Welsh Spirit of Place. I mean, I've been using it. Also CTG, it's a Welsh based tradition, and so a lot of the deities talked about on the major arcana are in our tradition. So those are my tools. Let's see what so that was the first part of my doing the ancestor work October. Let me know what you think, if you participated, how did it go for you, and what decks or tools that you use. I'm just out of curiosity. I watched some people's videos, but I know a lot of people did it without doing videos, so what and share if you have your own practice outside of this particular challenge hashtag type thing. Please feel free to share. And I'm not taking any opinions about my altar or anything like that, so keep them to yourself, just an FYI, in case you were thinking of sharing. It's not necessary. That is it for me today. Like this video if you like it, subscribe if you are new, hit the notification bell so you know when the next video is coming. Yes, there will be the rest of this to follow. Links in the description to Amethyst Ascension's announcement video for this, and to Carrie's playlist. She's got some more because she is a medium and has done other videos like this, so spirit work playlist, if that is something you're interested in seeing the details of, how she led us through these practices. But links in the description to my Patreon, where you can watch this ad-free and early access like all of my videos, and you get some nice perks depending on which upper tier you pick. But check it out if you just want to know what's coming before it comes. You can just follow me on Patreon for free. But that is it for me today, guys. Thank you as always so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.